Hey Bill, what's driving you to drink this week?
Well, happy Friday, everybody. This week, Mitch Daniels, former governor in Indiana, next door here in Illinois, the governor had a good op-ed talking about Connecticut and other states that are troubled like Illinois financially, and the possibility he raised of a federal possible bailout or some form of implicit or explicit bailout of the states that are troubled. And he raised concerns for whether or not states that are in good shape should have to pay for the states that are not in good shape. And that's something that brings to mind some lessons from history that we can still learn today, and that's from the S&L crisis in the 80s and 90s in the United States. The savings and loans, not the state and local governments, but the savings and loans in the United States, many of them went belly up and cost the taxpayer a fortune in terms of bailout costs. Importantly, because the regulatory accounting principles in the savings and loan industry masked the degree of the disaster for too long. And we have similar set of circumstances today in many state and local governments where for decades the state and local government accounting did not reflect the accumulation of massive debts on the balance sheet. As opposed to the S&Ls, the savings and loans, we have some other S&Ls, and those are again state and local governments. And for state and local government accounting, where do we look for the accounting principles? Well, in 1984, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board was created, and that's the entity which is effectively, in theory, a not-for-profit, independent, private sector organization that establishes the accounting principles under the purview of the Financial Accounting Foundation, or FAF. And GASB may be thought of, given that it's a private sector entity stipulating the accounting principles for the governments, we can almost think about this as capture theory in reverse. The capture theory stuff, one of the most important economists of all time, in my opinion, was George Stigler, who developed this idea that businesses actually sometimes like being regulated because they control the regulator, and in turn capture the regulator and develop the regulations in their benefit. Well, it's possible we can think of, unfortunately, GASB, at least historically, as capture theory in reverse. The governments controlled the accounting standards in ways that mask the accumulation of debt, in ways that we are ruining today, especially in Illinois, and not so much in Indiana. In recent years, things have been moving in the right direction, however, and going forward, I think we may have some opportunities for improvement in the GASB's financial reporting model initiative, which would valuably include an effort to move government funds accounting off of a cash-based model into an accrual accounting framework. One way that GASB can productively help our taxpayer situation today in many states. Cheers.